Alright, today is Monday, April 25th, 2022, and I'm done trading for the day. It was a very rough and whippy day. Let me go back from the beginning here. The first stock that I traded was NVDA, or NVIDIA. So today I woke up late. I did not wake up to my alarm, and so I did not have time to look at my stock screener or any scanners or even look at the after hours or pre-market to see which stocks I wanted to trade. So since I woke up late, what I did today is I right away focused on the big names or the beta names such as Tesla, Nvidia, Apple, Microsoft, Twitter, Snapchat, and things like that. So right at the outset is I looked at Nvidia or NVDA. I saw that it was strong at the open and then was pulling back, and I missed all this, of course. But I saw weakness, so what I did is I did short it. As you can tell right there, I shorted at 191.23, which is right here, which is not a good short. You can tell I chased it, and I don't like to chase stocks, but that was a bad decision as I was just waking up and did not have a chance to investigate anything for the day. And usually when that happens, you have a losing trade. And that is exactly what happens. I shorted it right there and then pop straight up to VWAP. And I got stopped out at 193.13. So I lost $2 per share in this trade right here. Not a good start to the day, but that is what happens when you get up late and you don't have time to look at anything ahead of time. Trading blind pretty much. So now my goal is, because I had this large red trade, is hopefully to find something else that can give me the confidence that I can go in on to get to at least break even, if not being positive on the day. So what I did next is I looked at Netflix, and by the way, I took 12 trades today. 12 buys, 12 sells. So quite a few trades. I don't usually do that either, but that's what happens on these days, and that's why I regret waking up late every time. So with Netflix, what happened is I saw pretty much the same thing. It tried to go higher and it got rejected, and then it went back up and I shorted it at VWAP. As you can tell right there, I shorted at 212.80, and I set a stop at break even, hoping to move it down as the stock continues to go down, making new lows. However, it just bounced right back up against it, stopping me out at 212.76, only making 4 cents on this trade, which is pretty much a break-even trade. So I'm not counting that as anything good. Then because it didn't make new lows, I thought, okay, I'm gonna go long and it might bust through the VWAP and continue higher. So as you can tell, my mind is flip-flopping, going short versus going long, which again tells me that I have no idea which way the stock is headed or what direction it's taking. So it's just stabs that I'm taking at this point because I did not have time to look at anything earlier, as I already mentioned. So at this point, I bought the stock at 212.76. No, I'm sorry. I bought it at 213.15, and I got stopped out at 211.80. As you can tell, I bought it on this candle, and it started heading back down, rejecting the VWAP. So I quickly sold that for a loss, as I just mentioned, and I entered a short position, hoping that it's going to continue going down because it rejected VWAP once more, showing me weakness. So at this point, I feel like, okay, I'm figuring out what's going on here. So I shorted it right there at, let's see, what was that? 211.47. 211.47 is where I shorted. And again, I set a stop for break even, hoping to bring it back down. But as you can tell, this candle just bounced right up to stop me out at 211.40. So again, I only got 7 cents, but I did not want to get stopped out because I see weakness So what I did is I shorted again, right there. I shorted again at 211.12 this time. And that's when I had a nice move to the downside, and I covered my position at 210.45. So finally, a trade that recouped some of my earlier losses from Nvidia. So I'm feeling better now. I'm feeling a little more confident, feeling like I know which way the stocks are headed, like I'm reading the market a little better at this point. It's already been, what, 10, 12? So I had 20 minutes that I've been in the stock market at this point. 30 minutes, half an hour. So I'm trying to figure it out and see what's going on here. The next stock that I trade is Apple. And with Apple, where is it? There it is. With Apple, as you can tell, it's very whippy. There's no direction, but it keeps hitting against this green line here. But I did have another indicator that since I had 12 trades today, I will not have time to cover in this video. But I had another indicator that told me to go short right here. So that's what I did. And Apple doesn't move as much, so you can go in a little heavier on that. So that's what I did, is I shorted it at 159.55 and I covered at 159.41 when I saw that it's not making lower lows than here, but it's trying to pull back. So that's where I covered my position, and that gave me a good win to finally start covering the losses from Nvidia earlier. So next, after the Apple trade, I'm feeling better now. I traded Twitter. It's a little faster moving stock, but I had quite a few trades on it, as you'll see in just a second. Right here. So here's Twitter, and they were all short trades. So I'm seeing, let me pull back. I'm seeing it again. You see a lot of candles, a lot of doji candles, but it's holding against the VWAP here a few times. Once it broke through, but it got completely rejected, which is all showing me weakness. And then this candle here, it tried to really push through, and it got a huge rejection. So that gave me confidence that this stock is weak. Well, it started to give me some confidence. So what I did is I shorted it on a pop. Right there, I shorted at 50.95, and I covered close to VWAP because I'm still not sure. You can see here it's hitting VWAP, but it's not going lower. I'm still not sure if it's going to go lower or not. So I covered at 50.91 just to see what it's going to do, and it did sell through, which was great to see. So now on a pullback, I want to short it again because I'm seeing that weakness confirmed. So what I did is I did short it again right there at 50.56, and then I covered my position at 50.41, and then again allowed it to get back up for another pullback trade. I shorted again at 50.59, but I got stopped out, pretty much break even at 50.58 because of my break-even stop that I had set in. Had another trade 50.64, covered at 50.62, and another trade at 50.62, covered at 50.61. So those were all basically just ticking back up against my stop order. I'm hoping we're just going to go down lower, but I did not want to be in a trade where it pushes up higher and I'm stuck in it. So that's why I was setting those break-even stops there. And then finally, my last trade for the day, I was at 50.62 is where I shorted, and I covered at 50.53, and that put me in the green for the day. So after all those 12 trades, I was able to get back to green. A lot of the trades were hitting against my break-even stop, but the ones that worked, and the ones that hit against my stop, I'm okay with that because I did not want to get another loser that puts me in a much bigger loss for the day. So happily, I did get to cover all my losses. As I said, I'm green on the day, but big lesson learned. If you wake up late and you don't have time to look at things, perhaps reducing my share size to start out would be good, just to make sure that I know which way stocks are heading, and then hopefully I can make the right choices from there, even if it is a loss at first. So that's all for today, and I will be back tomorrow.